What is going on, YouTube? Dragon Blade here, and we're back to cover some more Elder Scrolls Legends news. In today's video, we did a quick little announcement of the launch of the game and some content that was going to come with it. This morning, or I guess it was around this morning, we got a little bit more information about the expansion that's coming, kind of where we're moving forward. So as I already mentioned yesterday, the expansion is going to be called The Fall of the Dark Brotherhood. It's going to be a new story for Edition, and they give a little bit of context for how this all comes about. After he took up arms in the Great War in the launch story, we are now being hired by a powerful merchant to infiltrate the ranks of the Dark Brotherhood. So, again, I already talked about how much I like the Dark Brotherhood, so we're just going to get into some of the more information that they gave us. As I already said, there's over 25 missions in the story, and over the course of all those missions, we'll earn playsets of 40 new cards. When they say playsets, that means you're getting 3 copies of each, which is pretty good. You don't have to hunt down extra copies of the cards you're going to be getting. Many of these cards will be members of the Dark Brotherhood themselves, such as the Brotherhood Slayer. So, as you can see here, these are 2 of the new cards here, and they're talking about one of the new keywords that they're going to be offering. So first, we have the Brotherhood Slayer, which is a 3-mana 3/3 with Prophecy, which by itself is already decent. Anything with Prophecy is always at least playable. The cost is even. And then we have a new keyword called Slay. Now, Slay is something that's already been in the game previously with things like Blood Magic Lord, Night Talon Lord. What else do we have? There's a couple cards in the game. Pamar-Rat Renegade is another one. And originally their card text contained the words, when this creature destroys or attacks and destroys an enemy creature, it can do blank. So now that group of text has been replaced by the keyword Slay. Slay just simply means when this creature kills another creature, do this. What's cool about this is I don't believe, we'll have to confirm when it comes out, but I don't believe Slay requires you to survive, which is a good thing. And what this creature does is when you slay, you put a completed contract into your hand, and that gives you 1 magicka on this turn. So by itself, this is a decent card. The Prophecy makes it pretty good. Anytime you get a kill, you're getting a card that lets you get an extra magic on turn. So any magic advantage is always nice, especially if you're either running a ramp deck or running against a ramp deck. Having magicka equality is always good. And there's always those times where you need that 1 extra magicka to make that extra play you wanted to make. And also, this goes in great synergy with the card we're going to talk about later in here. So we're going to move down a little bit. And we have a card, one of my favorite characters from Skyrim, Cicero the Betrayer. When you look at it, it looks pretty similar. When I first looked at it, I was like, wow, that kind of reminds me of Loosen the Chance. And I guess it's just the 1 cost stat with lethal. But I think this card can be super useful. It's not always going to be fantastic, but I mean, I guess if you put Ring of Imaginary Might on it, it would be pretty cool. But the card itself, it has lethal, so it kills anything it touches. And when it kills something on your turn, you draw 2 cards. So it's got the same cost as Triumphant Jarl without the health mechanic being necessary. And the good thing about Cicero, as you can see here, he can also attack friendly creatures. So even if you're completely dominating the board and you had overextended your resources, if you have, let's say, a token on the board, you can kill off your token with this and get 2 cards out of it. That gives you some insane value if you can keep this thing alive. If this thing gets even 1 kill, and Cicero is worth it, especially because of the lethal. Anything more than 1 kill, and this thing is turning into an insane value engine. This is a card that I'm excited to try and use. It is a unique legendary. You only get 1 copy, but still, pretty fantastic. So they also go on to talk about how the story's new cards go across all 5 attributes, plus neutral cards. While Dark Brotherhood cards will continue to be represented in purple and green, like Lucian the Chance and Ungolem, they're going to be using the tools and allies of the intelligence attribute. Here's a simple but effective card that uses 2 assassins working together. This is decent, actually. Daggers in the Dark is 0 cost. Equip a +1/+0 steel dagger to a random friendly creature in each lane. Not a fantastic card, but as they mention here, Action Assassin or things like that, where you're using, what's it called? Crystal Tower Crafter or Lil Angel Hex Mage, Swindler's Market. This is another 0-cost card that you can put 3 more of if you want to run Swindlers as kind of your deck strategy. Another thing I'm thinking of is the current deck that I'm running right now, the Items Battle Mage. While this isn't ever going to be a game-winning card, if you have things like Rehad Horseman, Rehad Battle Mage, Alakir Survivalist, even if you have other Gardener of Swords on the field, if you cast this thing, yeah, +1/+0 Steel Dagger isn't usually going to be the difference in a match. But when you have all those other cards on the field that get the benefit of it, if you have 2 Alakir Survivalists, 1 in each lane, this turns into +2/+1 for each creature for 0. So like things like that, you can get some pretty awesome value. Not a ridiculously awesome broken card, but I feel like this card can be very useful in the right hands and in the right situation, which is all you can really ask for. Not every card is going to be completely game-breaking. You just want things that have uses and are useful. So as we continue down a little bit more, they're going to talk about how, much like in the launch story, there's going to be decisions that you make inside of the story mode, and that will impact gameplay. So I'm sure, much like they did in the storyline, there might be cards attached to it. But like they are making sure to mention, no matter what decision you make, you will still earn all the cards from the collection. But the challenges you face in the story mode may differ depending on your choices. So that also offers some replayability, which is one of the things I was definitely hoping for from the story mode. Is if you just play through it once and that's it, that's all you're ever going to get out of it. You get all your cards and you're done. I still think it'd be worth the $20. Just for the cards and the story alone. But the fact that there's other stories and other challenges you may be facing, it's going to make you kind of want to go back and play the story mode again just to see what you might have missed out on. Sorry about that. Several emissions even offer the player the option of going under disguise, abandoning the use of irregular decks to impersonate a character with a special deck you must pilot, which is very cool. You're going to have to use someone else's deck, probably a theme deck. And then they bring up 2 more cards. One is the Underworld Vigilante, 4/1 for 5 with charge, which is a little bit overcosted for what you're getting. The Greystone Ravager is a 4/1 for 2, but I guess where you're getting the benefit from this card is it has charge, which puts it up there with the Pterodactyl for being a 5-cost 4/4 with charge. The only difference with the Underworld Vigilante is it has the ability of enemy creatures in this lane lose cover. So for the most part, I still think that the Pterodactyl is better just because it has more strength. More toughness, more health. But I'm sure there's going to be times where making enemy creatures lose cover can be incredibly handy, which is why you're getting the health cut as a result. But still, I'm sure it's going to be a playable card. I don't know if it'll be like in an archer list. I don't know if you're going to take 3 of these over 3 pterodactyls, but it's consideration, which is good. And then we have Sanctuary Raid, which is a pretty awesome card. And it's actually it's making yellow even more annoying for me. Most of my decks struggle against yellow, but I don't think this card is broken. Piercing Javelin is a 5-cost action that destroys any creature. Sanctuary Raid is going to be a 7-cost action, so it's going to be a little bit more expensive than Piercing Javelin, although Piercing Javelin does have Prophecy, which makes it nice as well. So you're paying a little bit extra for Sanctuary Raid to get the same function of destroying a creature, but then you get give all friendly creatures in its lane +1/+1. So you're killing an enemy creature, and all of your creatures on your side of that enemy creature you destroyed is going to get you +1/+1. So this card isn't ever going to replace Piercing Javelin. Piercing Javelin is just insane value at 5 Magicka, and it gives you the Prophecy option. But something like this, I'm sure, can be useful in decks that want even more removal, or just even more pushing. Or in a yellow tokens deck, you get to destroy a big creature that your tokens can't get over, and then give all your tokens +1/+1 as a result, or something of the sort. I'm sure somebody's going to find a great use for this card. And then the fantastic card that we see, and I believe this is the card that they're talking about for pre-ordering, is you're going to receive the Night Mother card. And I liken this card very much to the new quest that Hearthstone is implementing, where you play it, you have to do something, and when you do that something, you're getting a result, a benefit. And I'm hoping this is something that Legends expands on. So as you see here, it's a 2-cost support with unlimited uses. Obviously, the way this card works, the earlier you play, it's going to be the better, and we'll talk about why. So whenever you activate this card, you summon an 0/1 target with guard for your opponent. And you may be thinking, why the hell do I want to summon creatures for my opponent? That's not that great. But as you keep reading, once 20 enemy creatures have died total, deal 20 damage to your opponent, deal 20 health, and draw up to 10 cards. So I'm guessing up to 10 cards means fill your hand to the point where you won't burn a card. That's what I'm thinking, because I don't think they're going to be like choose how many cards you want. So I'm guessing it's going to be draw up to 10 cards. 20 damage to your opponent and 20 health is ridiculous. So there's going to be, I'm sure there's going to be decks based solely around this card. It's going to be hard to draw, but they have those cards that let you draw this, and is neutral, so you can play it in any deck. And this goes back to the card that I was talking about above, where anytime you slay a creature, put a completed contract into your hand. So if you can get one of these out while you control the board, and you already have Night Mother out, you spawn an 0/1 target with guard, you kill it with your Brotherhood Slayer, you're getting a completed contract, which gives you more Magicka, which lets you fill the board with more creatures, which lets you keep killing your opponent's creatures, which lets you power up your Night Mother even more. This is going to see, I think, even more support removal than we already have. Heroic Rebirth was already upping the amount of support removal you're seeing in decks. Just the threat of Night Mother, I think, is going to up support removal even more. Just alone for the 20 damage to your opponent is ridiculous. And actually, besides the fact that it's unique legendary, so you can only get one, it's already teetering on the brink of being almost broken. It's going to be hard to kill 20 enemy creatures before the match is over. So that's why I wouldn't say it's quite broken yet, but it's a pretty ridiculous value if you can manage to pull it off. I wouldn't say it's a super reliable card, but if you have a deck where you don't have many other 2-drops and you just want to get something out, and this is there, it's pretty fantastic. So that's all I don't want to say that's all. This was their first big announcement relating to the content announcement yesterday. They said they're going to have even more announcement coming in the coming weeks as we move forward towards April 5th. But now, just revealing these cards, talking about some of this stuff, I can't wait to get my hands on this stuff. I am super hyped. Yeah, so definitely let me know what you guys think about the new story mode, the new cards, any strategies you guys are thinking of, any synergy I may have missed. Let me know all that stuff down in the comment section below. Let me know if you're hyped to be playing this new expansion, the new story mode, all of this new stuff. I cannot wait for April 5th. But that's going to be it for now, guys. As always, thank you all very, very much for watching. I'm Dragon Timberblade, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.